Hi everyone, Sarah Fox here, the Director of Music Ministries at Jesse Lee Memorial Methodist Church. I want to tell you today a little bit about why I hope you come to the All Hallows Eve service tomorrow, Saturday, October 31st, Halloween at 7:30 in the Jesse Lee Sanctuary. Something that I'm so excited about from the music perspective is that you would have the opportunity to hear some of the oldest known music from the Christian Western tradition. We have soloists coming tomorrow, and I will also be singing, and we're going to be singing chants, the Requiem Aeternam and the Te Lucis ante terminum. These are chants that they were passed down at least from the 11th century, but probably before. I want to show you what it looks like. This is what chant looks like. Modern notation would be written with 5 lines. We call that 5 staves. This notation is written with 4 lines, and these are not called notes like we call them notes today, but they would be called neumes, N-U-M-E-S, neumes. The way that this kind of music evolved, well, it's a very long, complicated story, but the gist of it is, or a very condensed version, is that in the Byzantine tradition, before the Catholic Church and what became the Greek Orthodox Church split, there were people in monasteries started singing monosyllabic, so one-line melodies. Those melodies were scripture, and they were also prayers that people started singing instead of saying. This singing, which came from the Hebrew tradition, the Jewish tradition of singing the Psalms and singing the Hebrew Old Testament in order to give extra weight, extra meaning to the text. And so in the Byzantine Church, monks began singing hymns, psalms, and liturgy. Through time, the Byzantine Church split, and in the Western Church, particularly in monasteries in France and Germany, people started thinking, what if instead of singing these melodies over and over again, we would actually write them down? And so at first, the melodies were only learned orally. People only learned by listening and singing back. It could take 10 years to train a singing professional called a cantor. Thus, notated music was invented. This is one of the earliest, the church and people in the church invented notated music to be able to learn the chant faster. Eventually, chants evolved in many different monasteries and many different cathedrals and churches all over the Western world. These chants are varied, they're complex, they have different writing styles, they have different ways that rhythm and melody were notated, and some music history, musicology scholars devote their lives to understanding the nuanced and unique ways that these chants were written. Tomorrow night, myself and a few other soloists will be singing some chants that have become very popular in the canon. The canon meaning a group of music that is sung and used widely in many worship circles around the world. One of them is the Requiem Aeternam, eternal rest. This is often sung at a funeral mass, a funeral service. That's why it's appropriate for All Souls Day, when we honor the saints that have gone before us and died and been examples for us. The Te Lucis ante terminum, so again, these are both Latin, is saying, grant those who have died eternal rest, that light shines and is with them and upon them. Tomorrow night we will be singing from the original music, and to me there's something very holy and special about hearing music that appears in books and manuscripts as far back as the 11th century. That is hundreds and hundreds of years of people worshiping, and trying to understand the mystery of God. We really hope that you will join us for this very special service and take part, and we hope to be a holy and transforming experience. Thanks for taking the time to listen. Hope to see you tomorrow, 7:30, October 31st, in this Jesse Lee Sanctuary. And you can find a link to sign up in this email if you haven't already.